Hello and welcome to the Broad Street Hockey live stream here. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me here is my co-host, Joe DeMarini. Joe, how are we taking this news? Matvei Michkov scratch. I know you're usually a very angry person, so I imagine
Oh,
you're punching holes in walls, screaming stuff over there. What's going on
yeah.
over there?
Punching my goaltender in the vein of a
Oh,
certain hockey player who used to be a Flyer. Um, eh. That's really all. That's really my only reaction is whatever.
yeah, if you're just getting out of work or whatever, haven't been on social media at all or anything, the Flyers are healthy scratching Matvei Michkov. Well, tonight's game in Tampa Bay against the Lightning, Anthony Richard has been recalled with Ryan Poehling on the IR, and he is going to get the start. Not sure what the lines are going to be without him. I don't think that it didn't have a morning skate. But yeah, this is going to be a short one. We're talking about Matvei Michkov being scratched. Joe and I are both rather level-headed about
Are
this.
we? I mean, I know I am.
You
How are you
are.
feeling?
I am too. Like, you see it. You see it this morning. It's tweeted out. Tortorella says it. Like, it's like, all right, here we go again. John Tortorella scratching Matvei Michkov. I remember we talked about it in our season preview. I said he would never be healthy scratched. I think you said during the holiday trip, the Disney on Ice trip, and
Yeah.
we're halfway there. We're halfway there here. So,
When's Canadian Thanksgiving? Could this be considered a
oh no,
holiday trip?
that was already
That
back
already
in
happened.
October. That was when there was a bunch of Monday day games.
So wait, yeah. What's November 1st? November 1st is All Saints Day, right? So this is the holiday All Saints Day scratching. So I got it right. It's a road trip for All Saints Day.
Yeah, we got a few guys in the chat here. Eric says, I don't agree with this. We got another guy here on Twitter here saying, I'll be the first to say it. Michkov sitting is not a big deal. Yes, he's a great
Right.
player who is producing, but it's not all about points. His energy is bad. His hustle is bad. He's not providing good breakout passes. Better to do it now. He can watch Kucherov play and see how he does
Yes.
things. He's still going to play 75 plus games and win the Calder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where both of us are at. And let's get this out of the way. You can bet on the Calder at Bet Online. Bet Online, of course, is our sponsor here. Let me filibuster a bit while I pull up the new ad read. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform. Your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with all the action and the ability to watch games as they happen. They got football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, MMA. Head to Bet Online today to get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. Bet Online, the game starts here. So yeah, that comment there pretty much sums up the podcast. Joe,
Dude,
where can people follow you? We can just
Yep,
we
we're
can just log
done.
off now. Yeah, that's it.
We're done. Thanks. You just did the show for us. No, that is exactly the correct take. Mishkov, he's looked behind the play. He looks tired. Maybe this is a bit of load management. Like we saw it last year with Leo Carlson. We saw it last year with Adam Fantilli. We're probably going to see it this year with maybe even Macklin Celebrini. Teams are being much more cautious with their rookie NHLers. They don't want them getting injured. They don't want them getting so worn down that they can't play, because there's no benefit to learning how to play in the NHL if you're too tired to do it all the time. That takes like years of building up in the off seasons to do. And this isn't just to punish him for any of these misplays that he's made or any, lack of hustle. He gets to watch Nikita Kucherov in person from the press box, but he's often touted as like the next Kucherov, quote unquote. And this is a perfect opportunity for him to get to see Kucherov in the flesh, watch his game, and be like, oh, I can still do all these really cool offensive things as long as I do X, Y, and Z to cover my ass if something goes wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. Kucherov's been the player he's been compared to the most due to his play style. And, he's definitely bummed not being able to play against him. But,
Sure.
I mean, the writing was kind of on the wall here. He's been stable to the bench for periods here and there. And, watch Kucherov. Just everything he does. Warm-ups, on the bench, on the ice. See how he plays, especially with Braden Point out. Like, Kucherov doesn't have a great center with him. I think Cirelli and Jake Gensel are on the top line now. So watch Kucherov.
I think they moved Brendan Hagel to the top line because Cirelli and Hagel have been absolutely dynamic together. So they're keeping them together on the top line.
Right. Yeah, but still, Kucherov's definitely going to be carrying that line. Kucherov, one of the best Russian players in the game today, probably one of the best Russian players in league history.
Ever. Yeah.
Watch, and yeah, you can say, I see people say, and I agree with it. Yeah, you got to put him on the ice to learn. That's the only way to learn the game. He can watch film and whatnot, but there's something about being like, okay, go in the press box, watch some of the breakouts, because he hasn't been great on breakouts, hasn't been great defensive coverage. Watch some of our team, but also watch specifically what Kucherov is doing, and learn that. Like, yeah, you can watch film. I don't know if teams have access to like the all 22 angle like NFL has, because one of the things I've been meaning to bring up is, like, I hate watching games on broadcast and trying to analyze them, because you can't see the breakout, you can't see in the neutral zone, you can't see anything like how things are set up when like guys are waiting behind the net. So Michkov, get up top, watch that, and yeah, it's kind of a load management thing. Like I heard talk about in the broadcast on Tuesday, I forget who they were referencing, but they said, he had a great first half of his rookie year, then hit a wall, and you don't want to hit that wall. And if they did just kind of run him into the ground and hit that wall in January, December, February, whenever it was, be like, oh, why did you play him so much? Why didn't give him a break early on and give him a load management here and there? Like, so there's going to be arguments either way, and people that don't like it either way. But as we said before, it's a road game, so it's not going to be a home game.
Nope.
It's a game they're not expected to win at all.
Oh, it's a scheduled loss. I don't know if anybody else has seen the news. Alexei Kolosov is not in tonight, so they're starting Fedotov, and they have an emergency backup goaltender tonight. I think his name was like Kevin Connon or Kyle Connon or something.
Has that been confirmed that Kolosov is out? I know he left morning skate with an injury. Let me check left wing lock real quick.
Okay, it does sound like he's going to be out.
Says Kolosov is confirmed, but that's due to the Flyers tweet before morning skate. So yeah, that's wrong there. That's wrong. So
okay,
yeah, it's going to be probably Fedotov, which I mean, Kucherov might put up 5 points tonight. Like if you're the betting type, bet some Kucherov points.
Part of me is also like, do you really want him in a game that is going to go probably as poorly as we're expecting it to? Like, that's got to be so demoralizing to watch, or to be a part of, rather, because he is going to watch it, and it's still going to feel demoralizing. No, he's 13 games into an NHL career. Yeah. There's 60-something more to go in the season. Hopefully 1,000 or more left in his career. Like, he can sit a game. It's fine. I mean, I think most of the betting sites, you can check this on our lovely sponsor's website, but they predicted that he would have like a plus minus of 64 games or 65 games in the season or something. Like, that was the projection. Like,
oh yeah, I don't know if there's betting lines on games played, but yeah, I've seen like projected, like the projected points, or the betting line on the points was like
46,
and he's already at 10 through a sixth of the year. Like, he's on pace for 60 or 70 points.
So the projected games then is like 60 something. We got plenty of time to get there. Like, let's all slow our rolls, slow our horses. It's going to be fine. However, if he is scratched again on Saturday, then we can start having a discussion about how much this is actually helping him, because they've got the Panthers on Saturday, right? So
yes, yeah.
I don't know who he would watch there.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, yeah, this should be a 1-game thing. If it's a 2-game thing on the road trip or whatever, because he has been fatigued. He had a great start to the season with those 9 points in his first 8 games there, but since then he only had that assist on the shot that Konechny put home against Carolina, and he hasn't had that same Michkov magic. So
I do want to go just beyond the points for a second here. His Carolina game, he had a 19.38 expected goals for percentage and a 20.00 Corsi for at 5-on-5. Those are like not good. Like, he was legitimately bad in the Carolina game. There was a reason they benched him in the third. Over the last 5 games, his average expected goals for percentage is 36.4. That's also pretty terrible. Mm-hmm. So it's not like it's come out of nowhere. It's not like he made one play and Torts has pissed at him. This has been like a few games in the making. It just and it's, came to a head in the Carolina game, and now we're seeing the execution of it.
Yeah, and not to pile on him. Like, we don't want to shit talk him or talk poorly about
He's
him.
19.
But
He's
there
19.
was a tweet making around that he's like the team's third best 5-on-5 player, but which is just looking at one single metric, which you can't do.
Yeah.
Like
No.
as you said, I tweeted out, looking at his past 5 games on natural stat trick 5-on-5, the expected goals 4% relative to his teammates have all been negative besides the Boston game, which, you know, it was good in the Boston game. But besides that, like, yeah, I don't want to see him scratch, but like, yeah, I don't mind seeing Anthony Richard get a game in there. And as we have, he points out again, exactly, he's never played over 50 games in a season. Last year, only 48 games in the KHL, 47 with Sochi, one with Ska. He was scratched there and always rebounded really well. And he had pneumonia last year, I think, which
sure
like
did.
I imagine that impacts your lungs for longer than you think, like especially with everything going on.
Long COVID is a thing. Like this isn't.
What are you talking
weird?
About? Not in this country, Joe. Come on.
Not in this country. Sorry, excuse me.
But going to the negative side of things, Eric Wisniewski here says, my problem is Torts hasn't kept lines together all season so far. So far, this team will never build chemistry. And that's definitely a worry. That's definitely a worry. It's a concern we've talked about before. Maybe this gives them a chance to try some lines without, you know, catering to Michkov a little bit. Like maybe we see Forster, Couturier, Konechny back again, and that thrives.
Oh, like, no. I want to point out that now they're down a right wing, which kind of locks everybody else into place. You get Joel Farabee. These are just my projections. Joel Farabee on a line with Couturier and I just had it pulled up. Excuse me. Joel Farabee with Coots and Forster. And then your top line would be Frost, Tippett, Konechny. Third line would be Lawton centering Richard and Richard, excuse me, and then Cates centering Hathaway and Delorier. I could get down with that. That looks much more like in line with where people are supposed to be.
I don't think they're going to separate Farabee and Brink. I think Farabee, Lawton, and Brink is going to be their third line, the one third line that they keep together. Like that seems to be what it is.
They've been good, fine.
But yeah, I forgot. Yeah, because Nick Delorier is in with Michkov being the only healthy scratch and Paling out. So yeah, that fourth line is going to stay together. Yeah, maybe they will move Farabee up and try Farabee not being with Brink. I know they've been together a lot, but I'd like to see Richard with Tippett on the line. I'm not sure how exactly that would fit, but just get the speedsters down there, down the middle. Speaking of speedsters, I saw BroStreetHockey.com, read and subscribe. Jet Luchenko scored his first OHL goal on a shorthanded breakaway on Wednesday night. So
kid was born to be a flyer. Kid was born to be a flyer.
There. Yeah, but yeah, I understand the people that are angry about this. Like I used to be angry about it back in 10 years ago when Konechny was drafted in a rookie. I got pissed off when Hackstall would scratch him, but even back then, the Flyers were somewhat trying to compete a little bit. Like they weren't like openly rebuilding. They haven't been until this. So I get it. It's a part of the process. It's what is going to happen when John Tortorella is the coach. It's only a problem if it goes more than one game because that fatigue has been there. I think Charlie talked about it on PHRY. I've heard the broadcast talk about it. How like, on back-to-backs, hasn't been there and he's played, he's counted on a lot offensively. And he really hasn't been outstanding the past few games. Like no. He could have points here and there, but he doesn't. And even outside of that, he hasn't like made those plays where you're like, oh, if someone was in the slot, that would have been a point. Like, so yeah, Michkov scratched. It's upsetting. I've seen people say they're not going to watch the game tonight. If you're not going to watch the game, but no, Joe, if you're not going to watch the game and you're in the South Philly area, at least come out to Chickies and Pete's. We got a Flyers watch party going on, benefiting Snyder Hockey tonight with Broad Street Hockey. I'll be there. Joe will be there. Kelly Hinkle will be there. Not sure who else will be there. It might just be a small group there. But yeah, head out Chickies and Pete's, big one in South Philly if you are in the area. You can put your back to the TV. You don't have to watch. You can just talk some Flyers hockey there. So we'll be there in a few hours.
Yeah, I'll be enjoying a cool beverage, and then as the game goes on and they start losing by more, we can all just start like being angry about it and being like, man, what a team we chose to be fans of.
Yeah, there's nothing to be angry about though. It's just it's expected.
It's just what it is. And like this is what a rebuild looks like. I know everybody makes fun of me for saying that, but God, there's gonna be some losing. There's gonna be some head scratching moves. Like it's just gonna happen. We just got to accept it.
We need a T-shirt in the store. So this is what a rebuild looks like, with like a caricature of your face there. And
Oh,
just some of our. We also need a Go Flyers shirt in the store
Flyers.
with your face too, with all your slogans there. But
We'll
yeah,
make a
I mean,
sticker.
what happens though if the Flyers win tonight? What happens if the Flyers get a sneaky win down in Tampa Bay? Tampa Bay coming back from a road trip is always tough. They have one home loss on the season. It was after their last road trip. It was to Minnesota, so a good hockey team. Flyers are not a good hockey team. Flyers are tied with the Predators, surprisingly, for the worst record in the league. But they're better than this. They're better than their point percentage shows. Like the Carolina game, they weren't in the Carolina game. Like I don't want to focus on this too much, but like the Carolina game, like it was a fun game because it was a close score, but they weren't playing well. They had like 6 shots in the final 2 periods. Hurricanes absolutely smothered them. Yeah. Marty Necas, I wish they freaking offer sheeted him. What a monster he's been so far.
No, Tampa's on a 3-game losing streak, and the one thing that might be in the Flyers' favor is Andrei Vasilevskiy has looked human for a lot of this season. Goaltending stats are suppressed around the league. Scoring is up. That's just kind of how things are trending. But, you know, even by his high standards, this looks low for what you would expect from a perennial Vezina contender.
Yeah.
I can't remember his exact stats. I think he's got a .903 save percentage and like a 2.6 goals against average.
I think 903 is right. I didn't look at his goals against average.
Yeah. Which, you know, save percentages are down across the league, but that's not what you would expect for Andrei Vasilevskiy. So maybe the Flyers catch him on a bad night and just are able to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, Broad Street Hockey also tweeted out a poll at 4:10 p.m., so just about 90 minutes ago. Was Tortorella right to healthy scratch Michkov here?
Yes.
27.6% yes, including myself, because I wanted to see the results, and 72.4% no. So doing some quick math there, 466 people no, and then less than 200 yes. Like, I wouldn't say he's not right to scratch him. Like, that's not the right wording, but like we understand the scratch.
Yeah. This didn't come out of nowhere. It's not like it's happening in a vacuum, you know. When Torts scratched, you know, I don't know, Sanheim last year or whatever, or was that 2 years ago now? That was 2 years ago now. Yeah, it was 2 wow. Jesus Christ. That Sanheim wasn't playing great, but that scratch still felt like it came out of nowhere.
That one felt personal because
it felt a little personal.
Junior in Calgary. Yeah,
scratching Couturier last season, like Coots wasn't playing well, but the context of why he wasn't playing well, it made that scratch feel weird because you knew he was injured. It's like, dude, what do you want him to do? In this case, we know what's happening.
That reminds me of a point that I wanted to bring up that I forgot about.
Yeah.
This is somewhat Torts also taking attention away from the team once again. He did that last year by scratching Couturier. Team was shitty. Team was spiraling. He scratched Couturier. That was the focus.
Yep.
Earlier this season for the home opener, he dropped Couturier down, put him on the left wing. Hasn't put him on the top line at times. That took the attention away from the team's overall poor start.
Yep.
And now the team has not been shooting the puck whatsoever.
Nope.
In their past 4 games, their max is 21. They have 76 shots, so it's about 19 shots per game since the start of the season. Since the start of the season, they haven't. First 3 games, 31, 40, and 30 shots on goal. Since then, they've maxed out at 29 and have only had 25 or more 4 times there. So they just had not been going offensively whatsoever. And
what happened? Like last year, they were one of the best shooting team, like not shots percentage, but most shooting teams.
Yeah. They're expected, or let's look at the raw Corsi numbers. Corsi for percentage, 45%, 4th worst according to Natural Stat Trick, ahead of Montreal, Detroit, who are frauds, Anaheim, and then the Flyers. Expected goals for 4th worst. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's just a new system that Tortorella is trying to implement. That probably has to be some of it. Shooting percentage is pretty low as well. Save percentage is worst in the league.
Maybe it's vibes. I mean, last season there were no expectations, and then they missed the playoffs.
Yeah.
Barely. And people were like, oh, we have higher expectations. And now they're like, why can't we do this? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it also doesn't help Michkov's case that the 5-on-5 on ice shooting percentage with him on the ice is 4.76.
Ooh,
So the
that's
fact
pretty
that he
bad.
has as many points as he does is pretty impressive. And on ice save percentage is 885, which is pretty low there
That's
as
pretty
well.
bad.
I mean, he probably contributes to it. I haven't looked up his chart on HockeyViz, his offensive zone and defensive zone contributions, but yeah, this is going to be good to reset a little bit. Watch a star in Kucherov do his thing, and maybe get Michkov to buy in a little bit more to the defensive game.
Did you say it was 4.5% shooting on ice shooting percentage for what was it?
I just closed out of that.
Oh, sorry.
4.76.
4.76. I think that is the entire Nashville Predators team shooting percentage right now. There is a reason that they are at the bottom of the league. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Kucherov just doesn't play tonight for some reason? We're gonna scratch Michkov to watch Kucherov, and then Kucherov doesn't play.
They'll just hang out in the press box together.
Hang out in the press box with Kolosov and not Fedotov because he's in net tonight. Oh boy.
What are we hoping for from Fedotov? What are we?
Well, I think the real question here is, does Torts get kicked out again? Because the last time they were in Tampa, he got ejected.
I forgot about that when that bullshit penalty happened. He was like, "I'm not fucking leaving.
I'm
not leaving.
Fucking leaving. I'm not.
You leave. You fucking leave."
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
2-game suspension.
Get some sort of excitement there. But
listen, you want to take the attention off the team and how lousy they're playing? Get yourself ejected from a hockey game. That's a way to do it.
Yeah,
that was like an 8-0 loss, right? Or 7-0. It was
bad.
It was bad.
It was really bad. Let me
I think they get a goal tonight. I think they do score at least one.
Yeah, that was a 7-0 loss last year.
7-0. Yeah. I'm gonna say 8-1, 8-1, one extra goal each.
Lightning only have one shutout so far this year against the Capitals. There 3-0 back on October 26th. And you just know the guy that Michkov has essentially replaced in the Flyers lineup, Cam Atkinson. Cam Atkinson apparently hosted his teammates last night, gave Scott Loudon some tips on being a dad. I forget who exactly tweeted that out. It may have been Jackie Spiegel.
Charlie, I think.
Might have been Charlie.
Oh, both of them, yeah.
Yeah, both of them were on the trip there. So yeah, it's he's definitely going to get a goal at some point as well.
Oh, Cam Atkinson, hat trick.
Well, I think he has like 1 point this season, and he's on the fourth line according to
you know what you can call him if he gets a hat trick? Cam Hatkinson.
Cam Hattrickson. Yeah.
Hattrickson.
Yeah. All right. Any other takes you've seen on Michkov? Anyone in watching live? Put in the chat. If you have any questions, reactions here, but I feel like it's just
what it is, man.
It sucks. It sucks. It does suck.
Does it?
Yeah, it sucks.
Why?
It just sucks, Joe. Your best player, your most exciting player, is not going to be on the ice. It sucks.
We get to see Anthony Richard in the NHL. He had a good camp. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah, apparently he hasn't been great with the Phantoms there. Also, it's a national TV. Well, I don't know if you call it national TV when it's ESPN plus Hulu. It's a streaming game, so we'll get to hear the broadcast talk all about that. I'm sure the only thing they plan to talk about with the Flyers was Michkov, so they may have to pivot from that, or just show him in the press box sad while they're talking about him.
Maybe they'll get him for an interview, like one of those like between period interviews or something.
Yeah.
They'll need Igor Zamula for that. Oh, that's the other question for tonight. Does Zamula stay in, or do they put Eric Johnson back with Andre, or do they take Andre out and put Eric Johnson in with Zamula?
I'm assuming the lineup's going to stay the same except for Michkov, because I feel like if that was going to be a change, they would have announced that this morning.
That's true.
Maybe if anything, I could see them maybe going 11-7 because it's going to be Fedotov in net and you want an extra defenseman to rotate in.
Well,
would you rather have Eric Johnson or Nick Delorier?
No, it's very funny that you say that, because when they got blown out by Tampa, they were 12-5 or 13-5.
Yeah.
13-5 because Zamula got sick and they couldn't get another guy down in time for the game. Yeah. So it only makes sense to run 11-7 because last time 13-5 didn't work. So you swing the pendulum the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of defensemen and missing games in last year, just a quick moment of remembrance for Ronnie Attard. He had a chance didn't really do too much with it. So Flyers traded him for Ben Gleason earlier. Let's just take a moment to remember all of Ronnie Adler's turnovers.
Oh, Ronald, we hardly knew you.
Sorry, Maddie.
Sorry. Yeah. Ben Gleason. Glenn Beeson.
Left-handed. Apparently handedness didn't matter, but maybe he'll be able to mentor whoever down there. Maybe if Andre gets sent back down, we'll see what happens.
Well, my take was that they got him to replace Andre because there's no way Andre's going back down. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Replace him in the AHL, you're saying?
Yes, exactly. Because they need somebody.
Yeah, we'll see when York comes back. I saw Charlie and Jackie posted from practice that he was
skating
on the ice in a blue contact, no contact, whatever, blue jersey. And Sam Ersson is on the trip. I know he was working out, but apparently a groin injury. So take as much time as you need. Like we need you healthy for the long haul.
Who gives a shit? This season is. I'm already basically writing this season off. I know it's early, but who cares? We're in like position for a top draft pick already.
When you were watching the game Tuesday night or no?
I came in late. I think I caught like the tail end of the second and then the third.
Okay, perfect. So in the third period when it was tied, were you was like in the back of your mind or back of your heart hoping like I hope the Canes just take this one in regulation? Like, are we there yet to where we're hoping for a tank?
Well,
or are we still rooting for fun winning hockey? And if they lose, they lose. If they win, they win.
I will be honest. There were 2 TVs in this bar. One of them was the game. One of them was something else. And my mind was a little bit more focused on that one. But as far as hockey goes, it's the age-old adage. Please either win the game or lose in regulation. Mm-hmm. Please, hockey gods, hockey gods, either win or lose in regulation. I am 100% there. It would have been fun to beat the Canes. They're a real good team. And that's always something you can hang your hat on. If you're a struggling team, you're like, hey, we just beat this really good team. That's like a feel good thing. But the fewer loser points, the better, honestly, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, if you're going to win, make it a nice win. If you're going to lose, make it in regulation.
Make it in regulation. Are you in the same frame of mind for that? Or
it's hard to root for losses so early in the season, but
I'm not rooting for losses. I'm rooting for fun hockey. If it turns out to be a loss, I'm fine with the loss.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at as well. It's like, okay, let's go to it, like even going to games like, all right, let's have a good time. Let's see Michkov do something cool. Let's see Konechny do something cool. Maybe see a fight, but like there's no hope like there was last year during this time.
I'm so much more hopeful this year than I am last year. Are you kidding me?
For what? The number one pick?
It doesn't even have to be the number one pick. They've got an exciting prospect pool. They got their star over 2 years early, and we get to see him play. Like, there's so much to be happy about. They locked up Travis Konechny. I know people are going to have their feelings about that contract, but like, guess how many points Konechny has, if you don't already have it up.
He leads the team. I think he has 14.
He has 7 and 7. Yeah. He's got 14.
7 and 7.
Oh, no, are we going to do a draft lottery?
I'm making this a thing now. We're going to do a draft lottery at the end of the show. I didn't mean to bring it up yet.
Okay. But no, Travis Konechny is over a point a game. Like, he's earning the contract. He looks a little, he still looks like he's going through something. He looked a lot better in Carolina, but he's fully proving that contract was worth it. Plus, all of last year, all we asked for was like a league average power play. Guess what we have this year? A league average power play. Guess what we don't have? Literally everything else they did well last year. Except the penalty kill is still good, but all of the 5-on-5 play is just gone. There's a lot to be hopeful for. There's a lot to be excited about.
Yeah, just not currently on the ice to potentially make playoffs. But yeah, one on the connecting note, I was listening to Hosers today. It was live on Tuesday. Good show on the Broad Street Hockey podcast and network there. Make sure you subscribe and all of that. And Thomas was bringing up how people were upset that the Flyers re-signed Konechny, but if he left, they'd be looking for a connecting type person, and he embodies Philadelphia Flyers hockey. So good having him here. Good having him as a veteran. To bring this back to Michkov, before we do the sim lottery here, what happens if the Flyers win and Michkov is a healthy scratch again Saturday? Do you get angry at all then? Or is it like, okay, they won, keep it together, as long as he's back in the lineup for a home game on Monday, that's good.
So you're saying if they win tonight, keep the lines together because they want to keep things rolling and then scratch him again?
Yeah. It's tough.
I understand the logic behind that, but also who gives a shit? This season isn't about the wins. Like, it's about developing your younger players, and your best hope for a future superstar sitting 2 games in a row probably isn't the best idea.
Yeah.
Maybe wait till the next road game if you're really that desperate to keep things together.
Another road trip-ish coming up. They have a road game in Ottawa, and then they're home for 5-game homestand coming up. So,
that Ottawa game will be his last opportunity to scratch Michkov probably, because I would imagine if you're playing in the Farg, you can't really scratch him. A lot of people came to see him.
If they scratch him at home, you're open a huge can of worms. We want Michkov chance, fire torch chance. Like, you're opening a lot that could happen there. So
Danny might get involved in that point. At that point,
yeah. I think if he's healthy scratched again Saturday, I think it's going to be a much bigger story, both locally and nationally. Like, it's unless
he's injured for some reason and they're just trying to hide it, but
which I wouldn't hate. Like, you would like to hear that as a fan, but also you don't want other players, teams attacking that. Like, that's a thing that people talk about.
Sure.
So whatever there. All right. Yeah, let's close this out here with a Tankathon draft lottery.
Yes.
Simulator. Flyers have the best odds currently, 25.5% at number 1. I think that you can only drop 2 spots, I think. So
2 spots.
Let's do it. We got one time. Let's hope to the hockey gods. One click. Here we go.
Buffalo.
Moves Buffalo up to number 1. Flyers at number 2. I feel like is there a top 2 or a top 3, and then there's like a drop off a little bit?
So James Higgins is starting to separate himself from the pack, and then there's 4 or 5 players behind him.
Okay.
But some of the players behind him are making a case that they could be in the same class as James Higgins, like the same tier. And if James Higgins doesn't continue to look like that, then he might drop down. And then you have this muddled top 5. And then you can go based on positional preference or stylistic preference. Porter Martone might be the one who's going to push the hardest to take that top spot. He's like a Brady Tkachuk reincarnated kind of.
Who's the really big guy? Is that McQueen?
Roger McQueen. Yeah, what a great name.
I'm already against him because I don't want them drafting a big guy just to have a big guy. I'd rather have someone smaller that has more of a better skill set. I wouldn't be against it, but if he falls to them or whatever. But also in this draft lottery simulator, we Avs are 11. They're top 10 protected.
It's perfect.
Edmonton 13, top 12 protected. So
perfect.
This would be
literally perfect.
I mean, both of those teams are going to make the playoffs, but this is besides the Flyers getting the number 1 pick, this is as good as we can ask for.
Very funny in this one that Buffalo gets number 1 because it's they're rebuilding again.
I mean, they should be rebuilding again.
Yeah, they're not in a great spot. Anyway, we gotta get our asses over to Chickies and Pete's. Throw that poster up one more time.
Flyers watch party.
Chickies and Pete's.
Chickies and Pete's. Make sure you mention it or show the flyer here. I believe 15% of all food proceeds are going to Snyder Hockey. Fantastic cause there. So if you have a chance, come out. If you're there, make sure you show the flyer. Say hi. I'll be there. Joe will be there. So I imagine there'll be some sort of Broad Street Hockey section or something set up.
We'll be
Kelly Hinkle's in charge of all of that. She does all that. So
we'll be easy to spot. I will be the tall person standing next to the significantly taller person.
Yes. All right, that's going to do it. Where else can people find you if they're not coming to Chickies tonight, Joe?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at JF DeMarini, but I finally bit the bullet and I created a blue sky. You can find me at JF DeMarini whatever the dots are that come after a blue sky name. I haven't figured it out yet.
And you can follow me on Twitter at rgilbertsop and on Blue Sky at ryangilbert.bsky.social. I've seen other people have other dots after it. I don't know, buying domains or something. I know our good friend Ashley has a thing there, so I might reach out to them about it. But yeah, follow us on Twitter, Blue Sky. Make sure you subscribe to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast feed. Subscribe on YouTube as well. Hoping to do more of these quick live streams, get some interaction. But until next time, thanks for listening.
Go Fly.